Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is Coexistence and Sustainability with our expert pet psychic, AMINAH. Before we bring her out, I'm really thrilled to make this announcement in case you haven't seen it on social media, but we have crossed over 600,000 views for this year. Woo! And we are currently up over, I believe, 37,000 subscribers. So thank you, each and every one of you out there. We know that you like us and we like you. So keep on coming back. Let's welcome the star of our show, pet psychic AMINAH. Hello, welcome.
And congratulations. I got to see that. It's so exciting. You have done the work, because I am lucky enough to be there when you started or very near, and it was magical. Just the growth, the graphics, the professionalism has always been there. It just got better.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your loyalty and being here from the very beginning. And as we've mentioned so many times, we connected on LinkedIn, two total strangers. And here we are 2 years later.
Yes,
and
our best of buddies.
Yes, buddies. And we've got an evolution of this show, because we've changed from just talking about the world of being a psychic to expanding that to coexistence and sustainability. We've got a new background. And so our topic today is the power and life-changing experience of sharing your home with animals and plants. And you're an expert in this area. Tell us about it.
Well, if it's an expert in the beginning of how many plants can I kill in one season, there's my expertise in the beginning. So don't be afraid that you have to have read all the books. You have to have talked to all the scientists. You have to, whatever the have to is. What I'd like to see everybody do is to try, to get involved, to be open to a new concept. I had to change my ways of landscaping and plants and indoor, outdoor, or what water they needed or what sun they needed, because I thought I knew. And then a few things die and then they grow. Be kind to yourself. And I encourage you, give it a try. Life happens with not just people on people, but animals, of course, is a huge part of well-being. They find that animals that come visit in care facilities, in retirement homes, people who have animals in their lives do better. They heal faster. They recover from trauma, whatever that is, mental or physical trauma, better. Having plants in your home also, not only do you breathe better, because that's the part of the give and take with plants, is they need something, we need something, and we exchange that oxygen, carbon dioxide, all of those things that the plant puts out in the air and what we put out. So it is truly a coexistence. Literally, it's a coexistence. And if we don't figure out how to do that better, humanity has created so many dire situations because we put plants, agriculture, or any variation of that in the wrong places. If you live in Ireland You can't necessarily take plants from Hawaii and move the plants to Ireland and say they'll thrive, and vice versa. You can't have plants that thrive in Alaska. And if you can imagine the weather in Alaska, it's deep snow to humidity to hot to lots of things. Now you come down into the state of California, and we pretty much have every topography. We have desert, we have forest, we have all types of weather. You need to pick plants that are good for that area. Now, when you go inside your home, that changes everything. You can do a lot of different plants that will adapt to your home. My recommendation is always check with somebody who specializes in plant knowledge. I love all our hardware stores, talked about them endlessly and all the resources there, but sadly, they no longer, at least in the state of California, they don't hire professional plant knowledgeable people. You get into some of the places like Summer Winds and their type of store and plant, that staff knows plants. What does it need? How does it need it? Where does it need it? And the joy for me is to go and just pick their brain, because I've read millions of books. I've landscaped and rescued 3 abandoned homes and their landscaping. I did all of that myself. That's how I learned to put sod in. Don't recommend it. It's a lot of work. Hire that out. And if you don't need grass, there's so many other ways to go. This is just touching the tip of the, what do they call it? The iceberg, or the tip of the point of how you can really integrate life-changing experiences. But you know what plants also do? Help you breathe. Help you breathe better in your home, help you breathe better in your life. And it just, I don't know about you, but it's wonderful to walk into a office that's all doors, windows, whatever, if it has all that, and have some life in it beside the human beings. It's really nice to see plants. I don't know about you, Dr. Jacalyn, but I'm dying to know, any chance you ever fit a plant in that very busy studio you're in, or in your home?
It's kind of a stressful time here now, but I think I will get some plants. I do. We actually have some plants outside that we didn't have before, tomato plants, which is really nice, and flowering plants. But I think I will. I'm not really good with plants. And I told you before, I'm not really good with fish. I was good with dogs, but I want to get a hardy plant that's
forgiving.
survive. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
you
the word,
need
forgiving.
something that's forgiving. And then, like with what the reason I asked you, because you're a perfect example of people saying, I'm so busy, I forget to water it, I forget to maybe feed it, whatever. Put on your calendar once a year that you give it some kind of plant food, whatever that is. They have these little sticks you can stick in, they dissolve themselves, you water it. They also have automatic waterers. They come in like little spikes. They come in all kinds of designs now because they're decorative. And what you do is you fill it up with water, and the plant little by little pulls the water out. It's like think of it like a drip system. People put that in their plants outside a lot, a drip system that is slow. And it's really great for some very specific plants, but it's great for overall plants also. They get a little bit of water. You can turn it off on rainy days, and that's outside. But inside, you get these little, and they look like little spikes, and now they're decorative. You can get them in almost any hardware store, any decorative plant store. All of them, they become so designer that they're truly art. And then you fill it up with a little bit of water. And there that plant takes that water in a little at a time and a little at a time. So more people can have plants in their offices and not wonder, well, who's taking care of the plant? Who's taking care of this? And everybody's so busy, or goodness sakes, everybody left the office for a long time. And what happened to all those plants? Somebody had to still go back to the office and water them or take them home. So know who you are, and then adapt to that. They have succulents, very forgiving on the water issue. Succulents keep a lot of the water in their own plant, in the leaves, and they get all that. And succulents come in everything. They bloom, they're green, they're light green, they're black, they're white. You get a lot of diversity in color. Just remember, if you're gonna start doing this, and Dr. Jacalyn's is definitely geared to your crowd, is start small. Start small. Don't go buy a whole pack of daisies or, God forbid, a rose bush. That's a lot of maintenance. A rose bush needs very specific food, trimming, water care, everything. I like roses just fine, but I've never been a fan of the bush. They're just too much maintenance for me when I could do 10 other plants for the work that that rose bush would cost me time with. Now, if you love roses, that's a joy for you. And that's where you need to find what is your personality and your time like for the plant that you think you might be able to manage in having in your life.
What about a cactus?
They're wonderful because now they come. And I don't know if you saw that. Now, I grew up in the desert, so I saw a lot of cactus. Our part in Southern California is the Joshua tree. It is actually a national monument, national plant that is now protected because there's so much, what do I want to say, building, construction, that's the right word, in the desert area also. Because before, I grew up in a town of maybe at its highest 30,000 people. I now live with about 3 million people in the Bay Area. And so it's lots of living, crowding, all that. But in those days, you walked around literally in the desert. Nobody bothered you. But in that arena, you really want to get plants that can handle the heat, especially if they're outside. If you're bringing them inside, there are many, many succulents now that bloom and you can bring inside. So it's just a fabulous time to be around, to have the ability to bring nature into your home with very, very little effort. Succulents will forgive you when you forget them. And that's okay. As long as you figure out some kind of, I put it on my calendar, honestly, and say, hey, that one probably could use some water. Now, I happen to be sitting in my office, and in the corner is this great ficus. And I probably talked about ficus many times. He's wonderful. And yes, my children named him. I don't remember the name, but he's literally been with me since he was 3 inches tall. And that's what I did. That's what I could afford. I bought this thing going, I don't know if I'm going to kill it or not, but it followed me through college, followed through my marriage, it followed through my kids being born, and it is sitting in the corner. It's never had great health because it wasn't watered regularly when it was in the store, but it is now over 4 feet. He's probably about 4 or 5 feet tall. And we love him because he's just moved from house to house to house with us. And if you don't know what a ficus is, they're a great office tree. It's a great, easy-going office tree. It does need a lot of help, a little bit of water, a little bit of indirect sunlight even, and they do really well. That's your homework. Your homework is to make sure you get the right plant for the right space and then understand what their needs are. Once in a while, you need to change the soil. Once in a while, you need to add vitamins, because if we're pouring water over the soil, all those nutrients get used by the tree or the plant or the bush. You got to replace that. And nowadays, they have little sticks that you just push into the dirt, and as you water, that gets disseminated into the roots. So it's a lot of really simple ways to bring life into your home. That's a positive. That doesn't cost a lot of work. You don't need to take them for potty breaks. You don't need to take them to the vet. None of that. If you're not able to have a pet, then it's really great to share your love and your time, and it's great for your oxygen in the house.
So many pluses, so many pros. So you talked a lot about the plants and what might be a good starter plant and fail safe or safe. I don't know what the
Yep, I like the fail safe.
fail
Absolutely.
safe, fail safe. But what about pets? And I know we've talked about this before. There's a lot of things to consider. And
Mhm.
I think also if you are someone who has a very busy life and you are out of the home a lot, and let's say you're growing your own food or you have a number of plants already, I think you have to look at how much time do you really have for a pet because they're part of your family. So, what are some of the questions, Pet Psychic Amina, that a potential pet owner to be should ask before making any purchase?
I think if I had my top, at least the top two considerations that you should spend a great deal of time thinking about is, what is your lifestyle as far as how does this pet fit into the way you live today? Your family members, your children, your not children, your marriage, where you live. And then the second one is your finances. It's going to be all tied together. After you decide, okay, I can, yes, do the food. I can do this. What happens if you get an animal that gets sick? Or God forbid, you have an indoor, outdoor cat or dog, that would be unusual, but and they get hit by a car and you have a catastrophic thousands of dollars vet bill. These are realities. It's the same as when we decide, I hope most of us decide on purpose to have children. It's not always that case, but when you are faced with that glorious news that you're going to have a child, and or just think about it, even if you adopted a child or you decided to take in a family member's child, however, you have a dependent on you and your animals are exactly the same. You need to take into consideration what makes sure that we all have the best life we can. It's great to say, oh, I'm always rescuing cats, but at what detriment? Are you costing your family's balance and ability to make it through time? Are there arguments with your spouse about how many cats and dogs you now have? There's got to be some positivity in having the love and the devotion that we do to these types of endeavors. So think about not just can you physically do it, can you mentally do it, but what about the finances? Vet bills are expensive, and it's because you're hiring in professional to make sure your animals don't have heart disease, don't have a nail in their toe, don't have, or all of those don'ts that you don't want to make anyone suffer that you love. And this is why spay and neutering is such a pivotal part of the animal industry. I can't tell you how many times I see somebody post something. I don't know, I don't follow any of the breeders, but they're always talking about, oh, got the next litter, got the next litter. And then lately I've heard 2 or 3 of them say, oh, well, I got 3 of the puppies back. Anybody want the other 3? And one breeder I heard of, I hope it's not common, is they then just dump the puppies they couldn't sell at the shelters. And the shelters are already way overused. So what I'm asking everybody to do is plan for what's next. Plan for how are we going to have enough support, enough medical care for everybody. That can be true about your plants too. They do have the right to live. And we might say, well, but they don't feel pain. They don't feel that. I don't know. I don't know if they do or not. But it is a living, breathing, giving to this earth, oxygen generating, wonderful life. So go into it, I hope, with a little bit of understanding that they deserve the best care they can. And having the soil refurbished and adding vitamins is going to be a part of that. So plants are really wonderful. It's, you can't have a dog. And guess what? The plants won't poop on your floor and they might drop a few leaves. But other than that, it is a great reminder that you can bring the outdoors inside. And in this day and age, you have succulents, you have, if you don't know what those are, they kind of look like the leaves have water already in them. And it's true, they do. Cactus now come in a plethora of colors and sizes. And you can really have a lot of fun decoratively all over. Now, a cactus is going to like a lot of direct sunlight. Succulents will take a little bit less. And everything in between. What I love, what it does to a household, is it brings more life into it. Why I am so passionate about it. And I even got my kids, when they moved out, I noticed that they both bought plants because they were raised with a house with a couple of plants. And they said, we really like it. We really like the look. We like the feeling. So the same thing, I'm all about bringing balance and positivity and trying to give you great ideas to jump off and build your own.
Outstanding. I love that. And I love to hear that your kids got plants as well. That's nice.
I was surprised because they always thought, I have an addiction. It's a disease. They're never going to catch it. They didn't. And they called me and told me, look, we bought a plant. Like, yay.
Now, what are your thoughts? Because we interviewed someone who's doing this about planting a tree for a certain cause. And I know where you live, it's not really conducive to doing that. Not really where I am either. But there are places where people can do this, where you can support others who are planting a tree for causes. What do you think?
Absolutely. And let me grow you forward where I'm at. That has become a thing. Finally, where you can not only reach out to the mayor's office or the city's office, any of those places, and they are now encouraging, and I know this for a fact because I worked for the city for a number of years. In the program I worked in was park restoration. And so we have over 100 parks in our city, much less the county, where I'm in a very, very populated community. So that's a lot of parks to manage. And we would go in and plant new plants and get the public involved as volunteers. What grew from that was really getting the community, especially the close neighbors, actually invested in their local park. Which what happens is then the graffiti goes down, the upkeep stays intact longer, and we don't have as much vandalism because people are in the parks and participating with their parks. So don't think that you can't make a difference with your city. You can come up with a volunteer program, or you can see if there's already a department that just hasn't branched that way. I literally worked for our local city restoring our parks. And what we did is we invited clubs, groups, religious organizations, whoever wanted to bring. What was really fun, we had a couple of people celebrate their birthdays or their anniversaries by coming to volunteer with our program. And it was wonderful because the city, we provided the trucks and the equipment and the shovels and the gloves, and everybody just brought their working person. And we put in so many new trees, but also we really upgraded the cleanliness and the safety of the parks. We noticed what the city was noticing was the parks were, some of them, were in neighborhoods that weren't being well upkeep. Well, then families didn't feel safe going there. But you get in there and you clean it and you keep it maintained, and everybody comes back to the parks. So you can do this in your neighborhood. You can go to your city and say, hey, I have a park. I'd like to make a difference. Can I bring me and 10 of my friends and we go pick up trash and start there? and or help repaint the backstop, whatever that needs. Tennis courts wouldn't be done. The city will do that. That's a major job on a tennis court. But you can do backstops. You can do graffiti removal. That really changes people's attitude about attending functions and parties and going to the parks. And that's what we need, for everybody to experience what having a place to walk your pets, having a place to look at great trees that have been there for whatever, 20 years. They're fabulous. And on a great day, you want to get together with friends, the parks would be a great place to be. And if you have a hand in making that park better, how extraordinarily wonderful would that be? And I was very blessed to do that for 2 years.
It's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. I was reflecting, even though I brought up about planting trees, it must have been in the back of my head because I totally forgot it. But when my father passed away, where we lived in the community, he was on the homeowners association. And so we planted a tree in his honor. And, now it's a big tree, and there's a name, his name is in honor of him. It's in front of it. It's really nice.
It really is. And it leaves that legacy that it sounds like he would want, that he'd want to be a part of. When my mom passed away, now she put in 12 parks in the area we lived, and we lived in a desert. So putting in parks that would have had to have been, I want to say, the 60s, that she really was really at her peak through the 70s. And so the mayor came out, the current mayor came out at that point, and we had this amazing dedication with a bench with her name on and all that kind of stuff for her memorial, because this was her gift. This was what she was really good at. And because I'm the youngest, so I see all the aftermath. I don't see all the beginning. My oldest sister would have seen that, and my brother would have seen that. And just having them talk about her history and her time and all the work she did with the city, because you had to start with a city and say, hey, there's a great big piece of land over there. Let's make it a park. Let's not put in more houses. Let's not more of this. So talking about all of the steps that it takes to put in a park, and then to see how the neighborhood took care of that and how the city really stepped in. There was a time, one of the parks specifically, where we actually had her memorial, was really the ghetto. It just hit that time. And I don't know if that happens to a lot of places, but during the 70s, I think 80s, it really hit hard times, where they had a lot of drug sales going on, and they had a lot of just dicey people. When you take care of your parks, when you get involved in that and you upgrade it, and families come back and it's clean, and there's no needles in the sand, and there's no trash all over the place, people will come back and they will start to care for those things. So don't think it's out of your reach. If this is something that you feel like you can help with, or you can be a part of, reach out to your city. And if you're really, really passionate about it, don't let no the first time be your only answer. I am absolutely positively sure my mom heard no a lot. And then she got people behind her, and then it got more people in the neighborhood involved, and got the homeowners involved. And people really do want to participate. I think we just sometimes don't know that we have tools. And that's what I'm trying to encourage. Animals and plants in your life are so freely given, as long as you feed them both. You feed them both, pick up some poop on the pet side and give some fertilizer, not the pet poop, but the fertilizer from a cow or something to the plants, and they will bless you for their existence, and after and before. Don't think that having a little plant on your desk at the office doesn't hopefully make you smile every time you look at it and say, oh, I got that meeting. And guess what? You can talk to them and tell them all your secrets because they won't tell anybody. I promise. I've never seen a plant tell.
If they do start talking, we want to know about it.
I want to know. I want to know first. It's like, that's just cheating. Come on. I've been talking to you because, I've got Mr. Ficus here and my Charlie Brown tree. And my kids named it at one point. I never remember. But it's like, man, the secrets that thing could tell for the last 35 years.
Let's try to talk to it now.
I know. It's like, no, he's not giving nothing. Just going, nope, I'm great. I'm great. The model.
So
and every couple of days you have to turn it for the
sorry. I was just gonna say, one thing I'd love for you to address is when you have cats like you do, and you have plants, is there anything that we have to be concerned about? Because
make sure they don't dig in them. Yeah, no dirt, because we are feeding basically chemical food to the plants. Now I use both the little sticks that I can push down into the dirt, and I've also used liquid. I've also used crystals. The crystals I worry about with the cats. My little ficus tree is actually sitting on a table that my children made me when they were in 3rd grade. And it's wonderful because it's this art tile piece, so it can handle this heavy plant. The root ball is the weight, not the top. And so I keep that specific plant because the pot is yay wide in a circle. So you can imagine a cat could sit in there, and they will. So first of all, the plant is up near a window, and this window is about midway through the room. So it's not really high, it's not really low, but now the plant is on basically equal terms with the window. So it gets that full indirect sunlight all day long. So that is really great and why it was chosen. But it also, I put it up on, technically it's a table that my kids made when they were in middle school, elementary school. Actually, it was an art program. I bought it in an auction, of course, for the school. And so it is up, it's not quite as high as a dining room table. It's technically an end table, and the plant is up there on top of it, so that I never have a cat going up there saying, hey, let's look at this. Does it happen? Sure. But all our cats have been taught, nope, plants are off business. You can't touch them. If a leaf drops, I'm very, very cognizant of, okay, I got a leaf that's, dying. It changes color. It'll turn yellow as opposed to green. Make sure you're picking those things up immediately. The last thing you want is to find out your cat has digested something, and then you got a vet visit because you don't know how toxic it will be for that cat or that animal. House plants are typically not safe for consumption for anybody, much less your pets. So make sure that when you introduce a plant, that if it's small, and you bought it small, like I did. I bought mine literally a few inches tall. I think it was 79 cents at the nursery I got it from, and was looking forward to watching it grow. And I knew how big it would get. I knew what I had bought, that it was going to get quite large. But my cats have never been on equal level with it. So remember that. You need to take into consideration who's in your house. If it's an elderly person on a walker or an electric chair or any kind of disability that isn't stable, don't put the plant in the path, because that's not fair to the person trying to get from part A to part B. Plants should be an accent. Plants should be a positive. Plants should be helping you feel better when you breathe. I like having that real life besides our pets in our everyday. And what's really, really gratifying is now I've seen my children, who are grown adults, married, all of that, and they have incorporated plants in their life. They have pets, so they have always seen how I have done this, or they ask me later. And when they're in the process of putting that plant together, of how do we find the safe space away from your pets. You don't want your dog going over and chewing on a branch and finding out it's toxic for that. Let's go with all houseplants are toxic. That's not true. Nothing is always and everything. But do you get my point? It just treat it that way. Treat it that way, that it should not be something your pets chew on, ever. Let's stick with safe things, what your vet recommends, what you buy at the pet store, and you can read the ingredients on the chew bone. And if you are okay with them eating rawhide, that's fine. Pig's ear, that's fine. Not houseplants. Houseplants need to be in a safe place, not only where they can grow, but also where your pets don't have any kind of proclivity to chew on them. Absolutely that. Because what I would hate to find out is either your pet had an allergic reaction, or that plant didn't list all its toxicity and you didn't see it, or I didn't say this at all and you didn't know that you should keep your plants and your pets in safe distance of each other. So even though my ficus is very tall, my cats could literally dig in the dirt. Now, what I have done is put small pebbles on the top layer, and they're beautiful. If you go to anything with aquatics where they have tanks for fish, they have rocks. They sell everywhere, and you can get them at craft stores that are they're just rocks. But I cover that so that it also makes it very difficult for my cats to jump up on this table, because they physically could, and dig in that dirt. So I'm creating as much, what would be the best word, inhospitable conditions for my pets to feel like this would be fun, let's do this. And anytime we get a new pet and they try all the tables and they jump up there to see the ficus, I'm like, yeah, nope. And then in the beginning, I'll barricade it. I literally will put boxes and the little fan that we have, a portable fan, and or right now we actually put the copy machine, which we have because we use it in the house. We put it next to the ficus, so there is little to zero room for my 3 cats to jump up there. And now it's a nothing thing because they never go there. And when we got the new cat, and then when we took over adopting my daughter's cat when she left the country, all of these new animals had to be reintroduced to the rules. And you'll always get that. And it's the same thing with people. God forbid a leaf falls off one of your plants and one of your pets eats it. Be cognizant of that. Houseplants are not typically safe for pets to eat, or people. But I rarely get asked about the people eating it. I mostly get asked about the pets. So are there safe plants? There can be, absolutely. Let's go with just keep them separate. Just keep them separate. And once your animals are trained, and we've talked about that a lot here, is the positivity of keeping that like, no, that's not for you. And when you have a pet that is new to the pack or new to the group, and you have already got, like for me, all our cats weren't all raised by this ficus. None of those cats are still alive. I have different cats. So I barricaded the tree for at least the first 6 to 10 months until I could be in the room, watch the interaction, and know that we are finally at the place where they know that's a no-no. That will save you so many vet bills and a tragedy, because so many houseplants can be lethal. Be careful out there. Know what you're doing and keep your pet safe.
Brilliant. Thank you for an outstanding overview in all of these areas. You did a great job. I really appreciate it. So much
Thanks.
good, concrete information. And funny enough, my sister and I were just talking about planting something, and I thought a tree, and there's no room for a tree. And she said rose bushes. And I thought, oh, after what Amina just said, that's not going to be happening.
Yeah, those are so much work. I'm sorry. They're lovely. Go buy some.
Yeah.
Cut. Enjoy
Right.
it for the 3, 4, 6 days, whatever they last.
You know
And
what's
I
funny?
will
I don't know
use,
if you know this, but I
go ahead.
used to buy cut flowers all the time, and as a result of meeting you, I don't buy them anymore.
Well, good for you, because I'm sorry, they're just decimating the planet because of all the gases they're causing, or all the waste they're causing. If you ever go by a florist, it's heartbreaking to watch how much they have to throw away, and the waste it costs, and the money that the business is losing. Of course, they don't want to throw them all away, but you can't use, dilapidated roses and these types of things. I just really believe we can do better. We can do better. Buy somebody a live plant. And if they don't do live plant, there's a lot of people who don't do live plants. Guess what? We can convert them and tell them you'll come over and show them how to water it or whatever. And my kids didn't ever do that. And now they do, because they have always, I haven't checked in with them on this. They've always lived with a house, with a pet and a plant, at least one of those, of both of them, because it's who I am. I love nature. What a lot of you watching and coming and watching our show, what you don't understand is Dr. Jacalyn picked our background, and my favorite color is lime green, and she didn't know that. And she has a tree in the back because we work together. And this is what I'm hoping for your families, is you get together and you say, oh, I understand that. Oh, I understand the details. And Dr. Jacalyn, I have no idea if you knew lime green was my absolute favorite color, and you picked not only a tree and the light coming in that really represents just what we're trying to share with others about the light and the positivity you can take with any struggle, with any disappointment. Do I lose plants? Sure, absolutely. I've learned so much about the ones I've killed more than the ones that have lived for the last 30 years. I can't believe that. Ficus has literally been with me more than 30 years. But I to this day, I still remember buying that tiny little bitty thing in a place where I was in college, and thought, oh, can I afford 79 cents? I don't know if I can afford it, because it literally was hand to mouth. And everybody knows you go into college, and I'm doing it on my own. And I was thinking, oh, but I really need a plant. I need something alive in my apartment. And my roommates didn't complain. It was also this big. So I want you to all try something outside of the box. And when it doesn't work, just figure out why, and make that pivot or the growth that is the lesson in front of us. We've all lost pets, or we've lost family members, or whatever the challenges in your life are. There's the support. And I hope the positivity of you joining US Global TV. There's so much positivity going on this channel. If you ever need to pick me up, any of our shows, I highly recommend, because that's what I do.
Yes, thank you, Pet Psychic Amina. We do have your banner up. So who do you want to contact you, and what's the best way to do that?
Well, don't call me about your plants, because that's a little more face-to-face. But believe it or not, animals, especially if you are a pet owner and you talk to your pets, you have just given me the easiest client I'm going to work with. The ones that are frightened, scared, never been spoken to, all of those really tough relationships. Of course, it's going to be a lot more work. So please talk to your pets. Tell them about your day. Ramble on. They don't care. Don't take a shower on Tuesday. They're okay with that too. So just know you have support. And I am very, very privileged to be able to help so many people. And if you ever need a reading with me, and know what your pets are doing and thinking, and why the training's not working, or whatever, or is it time to adopt, or is it time to say goodbye? These are things I deal with all the time. I'm very, very privileged to also deal and talk to people who have passed. And I'm able to give their families some resolve. But remember, it's always free will. You have the free will to call me or make an appointment, and they have the free will to show up and talk to you about things. I've only, in the years I've been doing this for other people and reading for them, I can only think of 2 outright that their family members denied them the information that they were asking for. And I asked them later in private why, the person who had died. And they said it's because it will do more harm than good. And you have to remember, whatever plane your family or members or your loved ones or your pets are at, they're there because that's where they're supposed to be at this point. And not all information is necessary information or good to have. And that's a great way, I hope, to end the show today, because it's been fabulous. I absolutely love working with you, Dr. Jacalyn, and the channel. And if you guys haven't tried all the other fabulous shows out there, do, because they're so easy to listen to in the car. Watch the video, of course, but it's really that easy. That's how I pick it up on a walk or this, and I can check in and I can listen to them, and they're really wonderful. So thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, for giving me the best couple of years and at least a couple of 100 episodes of doing something I love, and that's sharing my gift.
Well, thank you, because you can tell that you love what you do. And this, I have to say, this is one of the best shows ever, I think. So I'm really excited about it. So thank you.
Well, thanks. Thanks. And thanks for using my favorite color for the background.
Absolutely.
Even though you never asked me. You never asked me, hey, what's your favorite color? Of course not. You went with what goes. And that's why I want people to let go. Let go of, oh, it should have been this way. It's like, but it wasn't. So why? Because this must be the better path or something you're supposed to learn. So as soon as I saw our background come up, which was last year, I was like, oh my gosh, she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know. I knew you'd pick the tree. The tree makes sense with me. But the whole color scheme, fabulous. Fabulous. How can I be unhappy with such a fabulous background?
I aim to please, that's for sure.
I know. And you have this devilish behind no, and it's like, that's kind of scary, but wonderful, but kind of scary.
Well, I'm just grateful for a lot. I do want to share one thing. We had someone join us yesterday from LA, and he's a writer at National Lampoon. He's also a best-selling author, and he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's the founder of the School Improv LA. And this is the review he gave us. USA Global TV and Radio produces one of the best interviews I've ever been a part of. Fun, creative, and well-prepared. So we do appreciate all of our guests. Obviously, we appreciate our team members. They have a dear place in my heart. We appreciate our loyal followers. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. All of our shows are put into playlists that have recently been updated, so go check it out, USA Global TV and Radio. All right, AMINAH, as we close out, we're going to hear from one of our team members, Mr. Roland Friedel is going to do a testimonial, and then you and I will be back next week.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Care. Have a good weekend. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome. My name is Roland Friedel, and maybe as you can recognize from my accent, I'm Austrian, so it's a small country in the middle of Europe, in the heart of Europe. And yeah, I'm 59 years old. I'm a father and a grandfather. And from my business background, after my very short but very successful corporate career, I was the youngest member of board of director in a huge business, in a huge company. I started my own businesses in different areas, in different industries, and I got a lot of experience, what is working, what is not working. And about 2.5 decades ago, I started a training, coaching, consulting company, Spartan Performance Systems, where I did and still do train and consult international huge businesses worldwide like Xerox and other big players in the world. So we do a lot of sales trainings and management trainings with my team in different languages. That's my main background in business. Besides that, I'm very engaged in men's work and also in the environment. That's my background, to make it short. So to be honest, I'm very curious about what's going on in the world. I love to learn. I love to travel. So my huge passion is traveling. Right now, as you can see the background, I'm sitting in my motorhome. So after 14 years living on a beautiful island, I decided to move into my motorhome and travel to Europe and live and work from my motorhome. So, and I got engaged to USA Global TV and Radio actually a year and around 9-10 months ago, a very good friend of mine, he contacted me and asked me if he can invite me for an interview on USA Global TV and Radio. I guess the show was called The Journey of My Life. And to be honest, in the beginning, I said no, because I had very bad experience on interviews in my business careers. I did it twice for a TV channel in Austria, and then they cut it and edited it, and at the end, my comment was totally different than to the reality I said. So I said in the beginning no, but I trusted this guy, so I said, okay, let's do it. He told me I don't have to fly to the US. I can do it from my home. That was, at the time, this was his island in Mallorca. So, and it was an amazing, and a beautiful conversation. And then Dr. Jacalyn contacted me and asked me if I'm interested in becoming a co-moderator of a show. And so we started the Mallorca Connection, which is a weekly show on Monday, the Mallorca Connection. I got more and more involved. I became an elevated listener because I strongly believe it's important to listen first before you talk. And I had the chance to host and moderate and design my own shows, like the Earth Show in the past, the Men shows. I became a talking head, an expert on business topics. So I hosted, moderated, I guess about more than 100, maybe 200, I have no idea, shows on USA Global TV and Radio, and I still do. And finally, we started the It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, a very good show, and we bring a new one on about the planet Earth. Yeah, that's a little bit what I'm doing here on USA Global TV and Radio. So why I'm doing this? First of all, I really love new medias. I love the platform. I love the work that this Dr. Jacalyn is doing to educate people. It's all about sharing, caring, and connecting and networking. And the benefit I got out of this in my personal experience, I learned a lot about myself, to be honest. I learned a lot about my strengths in moderating, in hosting, in talking live in front of a video camera. I learned a lot of myself, where are my strengths, where are my weak points that I have to improve. I met a lot of new interesting people. Some of them became friends of mine. Actually, after all, it's a hell of work, to be sure. Yes, it is, to be prepared to invite people for the shows, to find new topics, to do research on the facts. But I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the industry, the media industry. I learned a lot about broadcasting, videos, interviewing. And as I said, I met interesting people, a lot of interesting people, and also made new friends where I'm very happy for that. So yeah, USA Global TV and Radio, it's the platform to connect. It's about sharing and caring. And for me, USA Global TV and Radio is a huge family, and I'm very thankful and grateful for this experience. And for I guess the best is yet to come. Thanks a lot from Roland from Austria. Thank you. Bye.
Hello everyone, I'm Simon MacDonald. I live in the West Highlands of Scotland, a very beautiful part of the world. Seems a long way from the USA Global TV station. But remember, USA Global TV is worldwide. It's a fantastic platform. And every Wednesday, I come along here as part of the show of the United Kingdom, News and Culture. And it's just like a family reunion each time. It's one of these amazing stations that has such a beautiful, friendly, and intelligent atmosphere as well. And we reach out to an audience in the most unimaginable places. And I came here, I don't know, must be over a year ago now. I was introduced by Dr. Philip Chan, and I met Ian Plum-Turner and Helena Chard, who are co-presenters on the show. And then Diane Floyd-Bem came along as well. And I mean, the five of us, Dr. Jacalyn, of course, who is our host and our mentor, has just made this show work so well. Tremendous people, lovely time we have, and we impart a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. Nothing's rehearsed. It's all done off the cuff, and it all just gels. And we get great feedback from people coming back and saying how they're enjoying the show. It's lovely to hear. It's lovely to get that interaction from outside as well. And we're all listeners, and some of us are elevated listeners as well. So we enjoy every second of it, and we hope you do too.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tracy Cram Perkins. I'm the author of Dementia Home Care, How to Prepare Before, During, and After. I also have a day job where I work in the electrical industry. I have found a home here on USA Global TV to tell people about different aspects of dementia and how to survive dementia care. It's a passion of mine, going back to when I first started taking care of my mother, all the way through 3 other family members to my aunt who died recently. My mission is trying to make it easier for people to do dementia care, to find shortcuts that will help them survive and maybe even thrive. So that is my mission. What I've discovered here on USA Global TV in sharing the information is that a lot of people have reached out to me, and we are talking about different aspects of their care. Now, at this point, I don't have a package that I put together. However, that will be coming. What I am doing now, because I do have a day job, is I make appointments with people, and then we can talk about the things that they're struggling with and see if we can't get them through to something that will work for both them and their loved ones. USA Global TV has opened such a world up to me as far as outreach, being able to get to people who don't know where to start. And they've been able to just connect with us online and find out about what we're doing and how we're helping people. And I am so proud of being able to be a part of this and to get the message out that you can also come to USA Global TV and talk about whatever your expertise is, as I'm sharing mine. One of the things that I've found when I've been talking to people about dementia care is maybe they don't have time to sit and talk to me in person, or we can't get together. Yet if they let me know about a topic, it's something that we can address, and I can either send to them or I can post public. My book is available on Amazon. It's available also in wide release at Barnes & Noble. You can also get it at your favorite local booksellers. It's available online through Target as well. So if you want to come and find me and find my package, right below here is my social contact and my email, so that you feel free to reach out to me and we can make an appointment to chat. And I look forward very much to hearing from you.
Hello, I'm children's author Diane Floyd Bain, and I am co-host for several of the USA Global TV and radio shows. I joined because of the purpose of the USA Global TV and radio. They provide content for the viewers and listeners, an opportunity for people around the world to have their own show or even be a guest on an existing show. We truly believe in helping others get their positive message out to the world. We also have the opportunity for the listeners. You can watch on several platforms, and on YouTube, you can ask questions and even give a comment. We absolutely love it. I love being part of the USA Global TV and radio because I love positive messages, and who doesn't? And we need more of that in the world. We are a family, and we hope you will join us and become part of the family too.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Caruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Bella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Bella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
Meet Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK, President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. She is a certified life, career, and executive coach. Dr. Jacalyn is the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Behind the Green Screen and Adversity to Awesome. As the listening mentor, she teaches children and their families how to listen at an elevated level through the book series titled The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. The Creative Hearts Awakening book series features heart-centric creatives who share their awakening journey. Through the Power of Listening educational course platform, people can get certified as elevated listeners on USA Global TV and Radio. Learn how to center yourself and align with nature through the power of nature, plants, and shrines. The Journey of Chakra Psychology course will educate you on the chakras and their meaning. The Intuition of the Heart course will help you understand how to trust your intuition. Learn how to face the shadows of self and understand the impact of following trends and materialism. Set boundaries and ask for permission to help establish better relationships, deeper connections, and more authentic conversations. Take your communication expertise to a higher level with the course for curious humans. After all, we are not robots. Looking to start your own podcast platform? Get everything you need in the Podcaster Pro package with Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. How can music, breath, and your voice set you free? Find out with the Power of Listening courses. Dr. Jacalyn is a certified meditation teacher, yoga instructor, and Juice Plus distributor. She will help you create a plan for your healthy lifestyle. As an expert in the art of interviewing with over 3,000 hosted and/or produced live broadcasts, Dr. KERBECK helps her clients stand out as global broadcasters. Dr. KERBECK's books are available on Amazon. Start your listening journey by reading. Tune into the Listening Mentor TV show, Fridays on USA Global TV, and learn how listening can be your superpower. Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK, MBA, DBA, Certified Holistic Life, Career, and Executive Coach, Certified Yoga Sculpt Teacher, Certified Meditation Teacher, The Listening Mentor, Singer-Songwriter, Founder, President, Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. drjacalyn.com. Thank you to all our elevated listeners, team members, animal characters, and co-authors. Contact us at 215-852-9406. Jacalyn at drjacalyn.com.